inclusive. I thank you. I have my colleague from Karamoja who is more exciting to listen to you. Please welcome him. Thank you.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, all protocols observed. Good afternoon, members. I'm honored to speak here today, standing for the private sector, but also today especially for the youth. It's my first time speaking to such an audience, so I apologize if I say something wrong. I think first I would like to thank you, the organizing committee, Chairperson. Thank you so much for inviting me, representing the Karamoja region. That's a totally new region for tourism in the country. And I really appreciate that you considered us. I think I'm the only person today. I hope in the future more private sector partners can come here and represent our beautiful region of Karamoja. A special thanks, I know Madame Lily Aryova is not here. I know she has a special place for Karamoja. And I need to thank her, even though she's not around, for always thinking about us. So thank you to Lily for thinking about us. But representing Karamoja here, I need to be very honest, the biggest gratitude goes to the government of Uganda. Because in many ways, I think Karamoja being a tourist destination today is thanks to the government of Uganda. If you look back 40 years ago, 50 years ago now, there was actually nobody going to Karamoja for tourism. Only the most strong-hearted people would board maybe a bus or a car, go into the region and travel or climb one of our mountains for the risk of their own life. But today, we have a region where the roads are being connected. We have power, where in the past we only had a generator to run. We have at the moment an international airport coming. And I think I can only thank the government of Uganda for this big strides you have done for the Karamoja region especially. So thank you so much. Right Honorable Prime Minister, thank you so much for the government of Uganda to secure our peace in Karamoja and to help development of tourism in our region. Yes, now I'm coming here. You might think this gentleman, how did he come here? I'm the son to a Dutch old missionary. He was in Uganda in the 1960s already. And I'm also the son to, my mother is also a board member of USTTI, Madame Florence Naduk. Maybe you know her also. I think many of you have seen her before in conferences. Today I would like to represent some minutes from the youth, especially about employment. Yesterday the youth told me, if you don't mention these points, you might not leave Fort Portal. So even though I argued with them, I'm just going to bring them because I want also to go back to my beautiful region. We have a nice festival going on. So they raised one point. One point was they would like that tourists cannot drive themselves in the national parks, especially to create jobs for the youth that can guide these tourists in the national park. That was number one. I think that's Fort Portal youth, eh? Number two, I think, was already raised by my colleague about UHTTI maybe opening a branch, Mr. Kawere. Maybe a branch in Western Uganda to help the youth also here to come up and not travel all the way to Jinja to go for education. I'm sure it's already on your plan, actually. Finally, I think I'm going to raise the issue about Right Honorable Prime Minister to help Uganda Tourism Boards. It's also a point from the youth to hold them accountable for the investment you've done in Uganda Tourism Boards. The youth of Fort Portal told me we want to see tangible results. We want more tourists to come to our city. And these people, if they come to our city, we get more jobs. I think this is a remark from all youth in Uganda. So I'm asking Right Honorable Prime Minister, please be together with UTB, be a big ambassador for the country, as well as ensure they do the work and make visitor numbers grow in the coming years. The final point for me being from Karamoja, we have beautiful landscapes. We have national park, we have wildlife reserves, but we also have a lot of central forest reserves. Yes, the last point is here, to help also open up concessions for our reserves. 50% of Karamoja, and I think also of the rest of the country, is protected areas. And the amount of investors is very few. So please help us to open up concessions for these investors, and also make sure in the national park, where there's already concessions going on, you separate concessions into new areas of those parks. So eventually we spread tourism in the country, and we also increase the earnings from tourism throughout the country. Thank you so much.
The last one, from the film industry. Thank you, Your Excellency, and all protocol observed. My name is Matthew Nawiso. I'm a filmmaker and the CEO of Nawiso Films, and I'm also the president of the National Producers Guild. But I'm here not just to talk about film, but also the creative industry at large. Of course, this encompasses music, film, fashion, fine art, crafts, events, name it, all the 9 domains of creative arts. Now, our asks are very simple. First and foremost, for the last 1 year, we were working on a creative policy draft, along with Honorable Rachel Magola under the Uganda Parliamentary Forum for Creatives. And this draft is something that we've been able to submit to the Ministry of Gender. Why is this important? It's because we need direction, we need regulations as a creative industry, and this is something that we are asking that needs to be put in place. And also we need to have a creative council that is going to govern all the 9-10 creative domains. Our second ask is we need creative hubs. What we've been doing as creatives, we are all operating in silos, but then if it is possible, we would like to have creative hubs in all the 5 regions of Uganda. And these creative hubs will be places where we can have a lot of skills and training for creatives from all the 9 domains. In this same place, we can have productions. In this same place, we can also have exhibitions. And these same places can also become a tourist attraction for locals and people coming from abroad. It's the same place where we also see ourselves training emerging creatives. My friend Anna Kava, whom I think has been training ladies in creating ebyanzi and all kinds of crafts. If she has this home where other people can come, we get to have the opportunity of preserving some of these culture that is dying out today. So with the creation of creative hubs, we would also love to ask for a national fund for skills development to empower the already existing creatives that are good in all the different domains to be able to train the emerging creatives. But we need logistics to do that. We're also asking for a national fund for content creation. Many times as creatives, we create within our small budgets, and somehow we've managed to be able to compete globally. Somehow, miraculously, we've managed to do that. But for us to be able to compete favorably globally, there is need to have a push so that we are able to create with the right budgets. Like I shared yesterday, if I'm making a film worth 100 million, I can't compete with somebody who is making a film of $1 million. So there is need for that push with a national fund. Then there is a need for monetizing our digital content on social media. Many young people today are able to create content on social media, on TikTok, YouTube. You people are always there watching this content. But then, after all that effort, there is no monetization. We need government to come in and be able to open up this. I shared steps that government needs to take in order to open this up. And this can enable us create jobs, monetize young people, and also we will be able to contribute to the GDP because now we are able to make money, government can tax us, and that way we can be able to grow as the youth. And last but not least, we'd also like support. We have many young people who are doing events like Peter Sebolime, who is doing the Vumbula, Uganda, and the Nile Film Festival. It is a very important aspect that needs promotion. He's had challenges. Security costs him 70 million to do that event. If this is a national event, can we have this security free? It is a simple ask. And last but not least, as creatives, we fall under the Ministry of Gender, and we feel a little misplaced. Our ask is, can we be moved to a ministry whose mandate aligns a lot more with what we do? Like the Ministry of Tourism. They are promoting what we do. That is our last ask. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Okay. So, people from the industry, clap for yourselves. Those are the issues that came from the industry, and it's representative. You see the old age, the young one, and thank you, and you can go back. Now, my last one, Honorable Prime Minister, is that PCF will realize you can go back. You want to have a photo moment? You come later. Don't worry. You'll come later. We'll invite you. MC will invite them later. The last thing I want to talk about is that under PCF, His Excellency the President has been promoting a number of wealth creation funds. And a number of time, it is only a MIOG and PDM that gets the visibility. And at times, the presidents need to understand that even the bigger funds that he's been able to promote are actually working and are creating impact. So we have just a few from, the main funds we have apart from UDB. We have the Agricultural Credit Fund. And I like to invite Mrs. Bagaya Goretti. She is from here. These people are from Fort Portal. Please come. She got a loan from the Agricultural Credit Fund, and she's a testimony. 100 million. We want the president to know that this is happening, and maybe one last one. Okay, I know the Prime Minister doesn't have time, but we thought that maybe could be able to see. Kansime Evelyn got 40 million. She's from Fort Portal, and she's a widow. She has been able to change lives. We have one who got from the recovery, small business recovery fund. He also got 40 million, Baguma Rogers. Maybe this will just get a photo moment and then we close since the Prime Minister doesn't have time. And a young lady called Nyamata who got 6 million from Post Bank for the Grow Fund. Where are you? So these three, they have very interesting stories, what is happening to their lives. She's using online as a young person. She lost her job during COVID, and she had to start online. She's now making money. He got money for the truck business, and he's changing lives through the small-scale recovery fund. She's a widow. Her husband died, and she left a rapidated 12-bedroom guest house here in Fort Portal. When she got a loan of 40 million, she has renovated it. Her income has more than tripled. She's able to look after herself. And this is all Mose's efforts. This lady here, she's a beneficiary of the Agricultural Credit Fund. She got 100 million. You see at her age. She is supplying, she's able, you saw the big chicken there. 4 kilos, 5 kilos. She's the one who's rearing them. Everything she has in her catering farm comes from her garden. And she's supplying URA. She can't even believe. In here, she's a big boss. Where is the effort coming from? The efforts of His Excellency the President. So I thought that maybe they would have spoken, but because of the time. But Prime Minister, maybe you'll have a photo moment with these beneficiaries also. Okay? And I have to let you go because the Prime Minister doesn't have a lot of time. Okay? Thank you very much. So I think, Honorable Prime Minister, those were my sessions. I would like now to invite our chairperson of the board to give his remarks.
Good afternoon once again. Please excuse me that I stand on the protocol that has been given, but in a very special way, welcome our Right Honorable Prime Minister. Right Honorable Prime Minister, this morning I received a letter from the Principal Private Secretary to the President saying that you'll be representing the President. And I said, now, what protocol do I call her His Excellency, Her Excellency, or? But we always love to be with you. Prime Minister, Of course, I respect and recognize the presence of Honorable Time. He's been with us since yesterday, an amazing man. He is a super hero of this area. Yeah. Right, Honorable Prime Minister, before I give my brief remarks, on behalf of the business people of this country, through you, Right Honorable Prime Minister, would like to congratulate His Excellency the President on his recent endorsement as the flag bearer for the National Resistance Movement. His Excellency the President has loved us as business people, as private sector people. He's done all the policies that help us, and he's changing the narrative of this country. Right Honorable Prime Minister, you can see that history is being changed from red carpets to yellow carpets. I believe you enjoy every bit of it. Would also like to congratulate you, Right Honorable Prime Minister. You've moved with us ever since the Presidential CEO Forum actually was sworn in when had just been appointed Prime Minister. And you've been with us all the time. So we thank you. And we congratulate you on your nomination. We don't have a say on how you are appointed, but if what we wish, personally, I wouldn't mind to see you back as our Majegere. Right Honorable Prime Minister, when you go back and meet His Excellency the President, tell him that these business people wish you three things. One, and we promise him three things. One is prayer, that the Almighty God continues to grant him good life, a health life, and he continues to lead us. Number two, that we shall continue working so hard. Make sure that we support his programs, particularly the parish development model, so that the value chains are completed and the economy, like Honorable Kasaija once said, moves pew and reaches where we want it to be. And number three, probably very critical at this hour, he has our votes. Prime Minister, since the last 3 days, these captains of industry have been discussing on matters tourism, trying to see how best we can improve the tourism industry of this country. We have got statistics. The industry was growing high, went down during COVID, it's re-emerged. I know that as leader of government business, you have all these statistics. I therefore will not go through all this. But this team, these captains of industry for the private sector and public sector want to unlock this industry and take its rightful place. Uganda has got the potential of being the highest tourist country in Africa. And we want to claim it. And we have no reason that we shall not claim it. I shall straight away go to a brief of the resolutions through this retreat. And at the end of it, I'll hand over to you a document that has the details of these resolutions that will go through, and if it pleases you, hand over to His Excellency the President. Resolution number 1 was to improve the tourism infrastructure. And the following were considered. The first one is a hot one. I don't know how you came to Fort Portal, but I had wished that you passed through Fort Portal Road. But somehow, if you passed through Fort Portal Road, you would not have reached here in time to address us. For me, it took me 8 hours, Right Honorable Prime Minister, to get here. 8 hours, and I was coming, I thought I was going to hell. When I reached Fort Portal, I found myself in heaven. Going to heaven through hell is not something we should accept. Right Honorable Prime Minister, please use your powers. I know 100% your capabilities and your capacity. Use your powers as leader of government business, slash budgets, and fix this road. In this category, item B was prioritize performance-based construction, rehabilitation and maintenance of the last mile to areas that serve tourist sites. Take an example of Kihihi. You fly to Kihihi, but from Kihihi to where the gorillas are, it's hell. That last mile for every area. Let's try to see that at least there's a good gravel road if we can't tarmac it. Number C, Right Honorable Prime Minister, is construct safe, clean stopovers all over. And my colleagues, private sector, once the roads are done, let's do this, because it's a source of business. Stopovers where tourists can stop to ease themselves, have a drink, have something to eat before they reach their destination. Part D, Right Honorable Prime Minister, is expand air connectivity and maintain aerodromes. And this is in two parts, Right Honorable Prime Minister. One, government should upgrade, rehabilitate, and maintain domestic aerodromes and guarantee reliable flight schedules. And top priority should be given to Kisoro, followed by Kasese. Right Honorable Prime Minister, we've got a brief from the Civil Aviation Authority. We understand to do Kasese requires about $43 million. Well, some of us are not technical enough. But Right Honorable Prime Minister, if I could be personal, you saw me when I served as governor of Rotary in Uganda and Tanzania. I moved in almost every township of Tanzania. And everywhere I landed, there was an aerodrome. Not even tarmacked, but planes could land. And I had a private charter plane, and I could go all over Tanzania within 1 week. I do not see a reason why we cannot do this, Right Honorable Prime Minister. For example, the one here in Fort Portal. Honestly, I do not buy any reasoning that we need $40 million to do this. It's just making a strip of land, compact it, make it, you get Civil Aviation Authority to certify it, and it can be done. And if you give me a chance to do it, and it becomes my private business, I'll do it to Right Honorable Prime Minister. Yes, and I'm very serious about it, because these are simple things that we can do without making it complex. Right Honorable Prime Minister, the second one was about Uganda Airlines. The resolution and our request is that Uganda Airlines remains a regional and international carrier that will leave private passenger planes to private companies. And I'd like just to call upon one person, Tony Rubombola. Mr. Tony Rubombola, I think he's still here. Just stand up. But please, just come closer so that the Right Honourable Minister sees you. Right Honourable Prime Minister, I believe that you have flown his planes at one time. He started Eagle Air 35 years ago as we had just got into power. He has run his Eagle airline all through, and it's a successful airline. All we need to do, Right Honourable Prime Minister, is empower him. And he does not want handouts. He wants soft loans. Give him interest-free runs that he improves because he's tested. He buys more planes, the aerodromes are improved, and then we shall have flights all over Uganda. Thank you. Right Honourable Prime Minister, and I saw Jennifer, but she enjoys sitting behind. Jennifer, the CEO of Uganda Airlines. Jennifer is doing a wonderful job. Uganda Airlines is doing a wonderful job. To come here, I flew from Lagos, and I went with Uganda Airlines and back. There is absolutely no way I would have come to Fort Portal if it was not Uganda Airlines. She's doing a great job, but support her. Let Uganda Airlines be accredited by IATA. Fix it, Right Honourable Prime Minister, fix it. It's a question of being intentional. And the moment we are intentional, things will be done. And for Jennifer, I wish some Uganda, when I was going to Lagos, all the air hostesses and what were actually white people. I wish there is some bit of local content. Number 5 was to develop Lake Victoria tourism circuit development. The waters, Lake Victoria is the biggest single volume water, fresh water in the world. The Great Lakes in the United States are small lakes combined together, and they say they are the biggest. But for a single lake, freshwater lake, Lake Victoria is the biggest. No activity at all. Prime Minister, let's put activity on Lake Victoria. And the government does not have to do it. It's just policy network. For example, say anyone who wants to bring in boats for tourism on Lake Victoria, no tax. You are going to see Lake Victoria flooded by boats, and then tourism will come, water sports will go on Lake Victoria, and then government will earn from there. So let's try to see how we make it work, because it's a huge resource for us. Point number 2, Right Honourable Prime Minister, is to ensure reliable access to water and electricity in tourist destinations. It is unbelievable, Right Honourable Prime Minister, that for the last 2 months, people with lodges and hotels around Bwindi area have not had electricity. And yet, His Excellency the President has made sure that electricity is generated beyond actually what we require as a country. Why? Transformers blew. Why couldn't they be supplied with new transformers? Well, it's good to protect local industry, but we must also support the manufacture of these transformers to scale so that he meets the demand that we need. Otherwise, no importation of transformers. The manufacturer is not able to manufacture enough. Now it took the executive director, Dr. Muvawala, to call, I think called my sister Irene yesterday, and Irene sent transformers. Can you imagine that if Muvawala was not there and Irene was not the beauty that we know of her, probably the place would be forgotten. Let's please change that, Right Honorable Prime Minister. Number 3 was to improve the tax policy of tourism, and the following were considered. Right Honorable Prime Minister, that we consolidate the 26 taxes or non-tax revenue into a few predictable taxes and a single hospitality tax levy. 26 taxes. And it is explained in the document I'm going to give you. That's a barrier to investments. Part B is lower tourism threshold or create a sector window that grants VAT deferment or zero rating for approved capex regardless of project size. Again, it's an incentive. It's well elaborated in the document I'm going to give you, Right Honorable Prime Minister. Number 4 is to enable access to affordable patient capital. Right Honorable Prime Minister, we should have a deliberate policy to tailor affordable funding for the tourism sector. And we can use our local banks. The recent action that you took, Right Honorable Prime Minister, of the agricultural fund with Pearl Bank, I think that's what used to be called Post Bank. Amazing, amazing results we are getting. Government took up responsibility of paying interest. And then these large-scale farmers will take the loans and government pays the interest. Let's do this to the tourism industry. And I think it is a good ask because it spurs, UDC is ready to be part of this. A good example is the Serena Hotel. That place, if you had not given it to the Aga Khan, it would be probably a source of insecurity in Kampala. You gave it to Aga Khan for almost free, but today the revenue it brings to the country is unimaginable. And that's how economies develop. We do that. I was a student in London when Margaret Thatcher gave state enterprises for $1, or rather £1. And the effect was to the rebirth of industrialization in the UK. We too can do it, Right Honorable Prime Minister. Number 5 is to contain the impact of security and health alerts and negative messaging. Engambo, rumor mongering in our country is too much. And we don't have a strong mechanism as a country to counteract this. You go to the international media, they report about the bad things. And yet, the good things that you do as government, we do as government, are so many. So many. But we have got to get a messaging system. We've got to have a system where we've got clear media strategy and counteract this. Right, Honorable Prime Minister, I don't know whether you are aware that travel advisory to Uganda is rated number 3. And number 3 is where Somalia is where Somaliland is where, for sure, this part of Africa, can we afford to be rated the same way Somalia is rated? We have got to do whatever it takes to make sure that this, of course, when it's rated number 3, international visitors who want to come to Uganda will first be advised, please go there at your own risk. And that's bad for the country. Very bad for the country, and we must change it. How? You are the lead of government business. If we can do something from private sector, call us. Call us, we shall back you up. But we must change it. Right, Honorable Prime Minister, have 2 points which are not part of the resolutions, but I thought I should share this with you. And I know you are a very action-oriented person. We put in place a law to curb wrong media reporting and people who report Wolokoso. That law we passed. And therefore we can punish people who destroy the country using the media. Now with this law, please help us to convince His Excellency the President to open Facebook. Facebook is a very good tool. And those who abuse it, there is law to cater for them. But it's the simplest tool of how you communicate all over the world. Now with us closed, young people have got through something called VPN. And people like of my age cannot go through VPN. And yet we want to communicate with the world, we want to sell our country. Please let this be lifted, and those who abuse it, there is a strong law that these members of parliament passed. The last one, which is also not there, and 3 of our hotel people told me this yesterday. Oh my God, is noise pollution. Oh. Prime Minister, you've been to where I live. I live in Munyonyo. I'm about to leave my beautiful house because of noise pollution. I came with the person, I've just been elected a director of Rotary International, representing Africa, Middle East, and Eastern Europe. I came to Fort Portal under difficult circumstances with one of the directors from England. And this hotel was full. I took her to another beautiful hotel just down there. Today, he asked for a car to leave. Why? There was Kidongo until morning. He could not sleep. He could not sleep. Please, just burn these Kidongo at night. Burn them. Just burn them. You know, when people are enjoying themselves, if they want bidongo, let them put soundproofing. If they can't put soundproofing, let them go hang. It is just terrible. It is chasing all our tourists because you can't sleep. You can't sleep. Right Honorable Prime Minister, as I finish, I wanted to introduce to you one very interesting gentleman. Muzei, my namesake, Muzei Emmanuel Basaliza, where are you? Muzei Basaliza, just walk here so that the Prime Minister sees you. This man is father to Honorable Basaliza. He turns 100 years today. And this man is a real estate mogul in the Toro region. Bunyoro. Toro or Bunyoro? Toro. He still invests at 100 years. He is a golfer. I am passionate about Rotary. He attends all Rotary meetings all through. At 100 years is a good way for all of us captains of industry to emulate Muzei Basaliza so that we live to his age. Now, Right Honorable Prime Minister, once again, thank you. And thank you for being who you are. Nze nkwagala nnyo. You know, Right Honorable Prime Minister does not pretend. No, if it is dance, it is dance. When it is work, it is work. When it is delivering results, she brings. What else do you need? So, but before you come to address us, Right Honorable Prime Minister, I will invite the Honorable Minister of Tourism, but at the expense of repeating what I've said. This could be personal, this could be affect all of us. That gentleman you are seated with, Honorable Timmy, is a gentleman. We want gentlemen in this country. He is a gentleman. He's been seated with us since morning. He did not say, Sukari is eating me. Sukari did not complain. He's been there, a gentleman and a gentleman and a gentleman. How I wish all Ugandans could be like him. Thank you.
Let me also stand by the protocol as it is stipulated here so that we save time, because the Prime Minister has to return to Kampala by helicopter, and you can see the weather. I have been here for the last 2 days. Right Honorable Prime Minister, a great deal has been said, and the presentation of Mr. Katongole, the chairman of the CEO's Forum, has just delivered a blistering, isn't it, statement now. But you know, I also studied journalism. And if I was an editor today, tomorrow I would say Emmanuel Katongole offers to develop Saka airstrip in Fort Portal, isn't it? And those would be the headlines, isn't it? Then you start explaining the rest. So, Right Honorable, I have really internalized most of the issues which have been raised during this very, very important forum. And I must thank the President who initiated this forum. I must thank Irene Birungi Mugisha, who has been in charge of this conference, this forum in Fort Portal. and all the work and effort which has been put to the success of this very, very important conference retreat. Fortunately, the Prime Minister is here. She avoided the road and came by helicopter. But Mr. Katongole has said it all. And all of us here have really had our share of that road. I have no doubt that that road will be fixed. Every cabinet meeting we hold, the president comes, and one of the issues he talks about is the problem of that particular road. And I have no doubt personally that that road will be fixed. Fortunately, the Prime Minister is here. The resolutions which have just been read, some of them by Mr. Katongole, will not evaporate. There will be an answer to the resolutions and recommendations as given. I can assure you about that. And I will work with the Prime Minister to make sure that I will work with the Prime Minister and advise her that this matter, these issues as embedded in the resolutions, the Fort Portal resolutions, be escalated, isn't it, to the highest possible level. After all, the Prime Minister herself is here. And therefore, the Prime Minister of Uganda, as you know, is a member of Parliament for Kakumiro district. You also know that on her way every weekend, she goes through the Kampala, Mityana, Mubende road, isn't it? Sure, she is a beneficiary of this road really we are talking about. When this road is fixed, she will be happier. And that's what she has been telling me. But do these people know that I'm also a complainant on that road? I said, well, and I was saying, I don't know. See, but do they know? I said, well, you know, you ask them. But now I'm telling you that the Prime Minister herself goes through that terrible road, except that she veers off, isn't it? At Mubende, and some of us continue through Nabingola and Kiegegwa and on and on and on. So I have no doubt that these matters, as put in the resolution, the Fort Portal resolution, will be escalated to the highest possible level, and the Prime Minister herself is here. So without much ado, let me ask and request the Right Honorable Prime Minister to come and address us. I thank you.
Please sit. Thank you so much. The Honorable retired Colonel Tom Butime, the Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Honorable Members of Parliament, our permanent secretaries present, our technical people, everybody present, good afternoon. I want to apologize for having come late. It was not intentional. There was another function, very important one. We had the National Budget Conference in Munyonyo, and you know I'm always the chair. I should have delegated by my brother Moses Ali. You know how he is. So I had no alternative but to do the other one and come here later. So that's why I delayed. I'm truly very sorry. I was delegated here by the President, though I was also supposed to be here. And that's why I will give some few remarks as a Prime Minister, just to answer a few concerns that have come here today, that have come up. So the Mitiana Mubende Chenjojo Road, they are both in poor state. As you are aware, we have been rehabilitating the Mitiana Mubende Road for quite some time. The contractor is Enago, but Enago got a number of challenges. So when he was paid part of the money, he had to solve some of those challenges. The suppliers were on him, the what, and fuel, where he got fuel. So the money he was paid last month was used to clear some of those obligations. But this week or next week, he will receive another cohort of money. He has been working, but at a low pace. I believe the President directed some time back in Cabinet that we prioritize that road. Remember when he had a tour of Mubende, Mitiana, that zone, the Mubende zone. He directed us in July that we prioritize that road. So that's when the contractor was paid. But I want to promise that with this money he's going to receive, around 50 billion, it will push him to some level. That is what I can promise. Then Mubende Chenjojo. Mubende Chenjojo, we are going to use our in-house engineering services under the Ministry of Works, which is developed. They are the ones who have worked on Ginger Road, and they are now done. So the next area is Mubende Chenjojo, to at least do forward maintenance so that that road is motorable. And I believe to some extent we shall have solved the problem and that road will be motorable again. Allow me to talk about the upgrade of Kisoro and Kasese Aerodrome into international airports. What I know, Kisoro runway was rehabilitated recently, and the surface was sealed. Before it was maram. But Kisoro Aerodrome has limitations, aviation limitations, because of the land, you know, the geography of that place. We also have a problem of land, limited land. And so I doubt whether CAA can allow us to make it an international airport. But we recently had a meeting, which I chaired in my office, and looked at Kabale, Nyamitanga, because for them they have no aviation limitations. And of course, you are aware that the African Development Bank is supporting us to finance the feasibility studies. And I believe if maybe Kabale, since it is near, if Kabale is upgraded, it can be easy for us to fly to Kisoro. But Kisoro Aerodrome has limitations. I think Honorable Butime was in Cabinet last week when the President directed me to get in touch with the Minister of Works and some of his partners. We have got a partner who wants to upgrade Mbarara Aerodrome and make it an international airport privately. I'm told apparently because Mbarara is the center of the world, yes, it will be easy to connect to China and many other parts of the world. So we have got a private investor. They are going to upgrade it to a very big standard, maybe international standard. We had a meeting yesterday. In fact, I'm going for the same meeting. That's why I was telling my sisters here to allow me go and have that meeting. It was supposed to be there at 4. But now that I'm still here, I doubt whether we shall have it today. So Kasese is also having a Chinese private investor who is also going to upgrade Kasese Aerodrome to an international airport. I will give other resolutions to the President. They are very pertinent. I have taken note of them, and I promise that when I go back, I know I will have a meeting with the President on Monday. After Cabinet, I will go through your resolutions one by one. Let me now go to the President's speech. The honorable ministers present and everybody, the technical and others, I would like to thank all those who came up with the idea of organizing the CEO's Forum. It is befitting for the public-private sector to engage with senior government leaders, CEOs, and industry stakeholders to address strategic policy issues and align actions to accelerate Uganda's socio-economic transformation. Before talking about Uganda's socio-economic transformation, I want to give a background about Uganda's economy and its socio-economic transformation and how it has managed to grow under the leadership of NRM. At the time of independence, 1962, Uganda's economy was a typical enclave colonial economy. It comprised of a small island, of a modern sector, surrounded by a large traditional sector focused on subsistence activities. This small modern sector was referred to as the economy of the 3 C's, that is coffee, cotton, and copper, and the 3 T's, that is tea, tobacco, and tourism. The modern enclave, which relied on production of raw materials for export, created few jobs and did not stimulate economic growth. Therefore, in 1986, when the NRM came to power, Uganda's economy was in a total mess. The former economy was dominated by loss-making state enterprises. The few enterprises of cotton, copper, tourism, and tea had disappeared from the economic landscape. The production of tea, for example, had dropped from 23 million kilograms in 1969 to a mere 3 million kilograms by 1986. We embarked on a journey to resurrect the economy with a 10-point program by launching a comprehensive economic recovery program in 1987-1988. We pursued the process of rehabilitation while promoting privatization and liberalization of the economy by allowing the private sector to take charge of the economy. The government of Uganda concentrated on creating a supportive environment for businesses to grow through policy reforms. The other essential ingredient of development, which the NRM has tackled, is the establishment of the necessary socio-economic infrastructure across the country. And the government has prioritized infrastructure development in the key areas of transport and energy in order to lower the cost of doing businesses in Uganda. There are 4 major cost pushers in business. That is high cost of electricity, transport, money, and labor. If these 4 are high, then businesses cannot grow. Business is about profit. When you make profits, the businesses grow. And in order to make profits, you must minimize costs. Therefore, our deliberate move to prioritize infrastructure development was aimed at creating a strong economic base to attract investment in the 4 sectors of commercial, agriculture, industries, services, and ICT. As a result, we have witnessed remarkable progress across various sectors. Our combined electricity generation has increased significantly, with surplus electricity now available. And these achievements have laid a firm foundation for Uganda's economic transformation. Already, the structure of the economy has changed from one dominated by agriculture to one dominated by services. Our achievements are not by accident. They are on account of deliberate and focused government interventions. Let me repeat this. Our achievements are not by accident. They are on account of deliberate and focused government interventions. Given the ongoing developments, the economy is poised to generate more formal jobs. The NRM is committed to expanding Uganda's economy tenfold within the next decade. This ambitious goal is attainable, as demonstrated by the achievements of the other countries, particularly the Asian tigers. Such growth will translate into millions of new jobs for our people. The rapid advancement of technology is fundamentally reshaping the job market structure. Finally, I wish to remind you that Uganda is endowed with abundant natural resources. However, it's not enough to possess natural resources if they are underutilized or exported to the outside world as raw materials. Therefore, in addition to having natural resources, you need an educated and skilled human resource to convert the raw materials into goods and services. Uganda is now unstoppable in terms of economic growth and social economic transformation. I thank you so much. Thank you. I thank you so much for your various contributions. It is now my pleasure to close the 6th biannual Presidential CEO's Retreat. I thank you all. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda.
A big round of applause for the Right Honourable Prime Minister. Thank you, Right Honourable Prime Minister, and in the interest of time, well knowing that you have another meeting, we shall request to have a few photos with you and then close the session. We also have a message, or a couple of messages to you, but protocol does not permit me to hand them over, so I'll hand them over to the CEO of PCF, who will hand them over to your protocol team. And the second last item on our agenda, Right Honourable Prime Minister, is to sign our board for our publication, and to preside over this function, I'll invite back the CEO of the Presidential CEO Forum to come and preside over the signing of this publication. Right Honourable Prime Minister, may I kindly invite you to the official signing of the launch of the PCF flagship books. They took it. Let's finish it. And now we can have the group photo with the board of PCF. As that gets done, let me invite the staff of the Presidential CEO Forum to be close to have their photo moment with the Prime Minister. And after, the staff will have all the panelists from yesterday to come for a photo. So staff, the board, we may excuse you. Thank you. Yes, yes. Can we have the staff? And immediately after, we'll have all panelists, please. And as the panelists come, let's have the beneficiaries of the funds. Let's move quicker, yeah? Thank you, Right Honorable. Let's have our panelists. Let's have our panelists. Aha. We balance the boat. Uh-huh. Thank you. Thank you very much. Do we have the recipients of all the funds? Are they here? Thank you very much, our panelists. And the second last photo, the recipients of our funds. Okay, and I've been guided by my elder that after that we'll have the members of parliament here present. Yeah. Wait, let's, okay, okay. Thank you. Let's have the members of parliament here present. Members of parliament. Now I don't know. Where are the queens? Our members of parliament. And now, Madam Prime Minister, with your permission, there is always that one photo that I request for. Before the Minister of Tourism, Madam Prime Minister, may I request for a photo? Thank you. Minister of Tourism. All agencies, yes. Dr. Musinguzi, come to the side and balance. Okay, let's move quicker. Balance. Balance. Okay. Thank you. And lastly, hey. Okay. And lastly, Right Honorable Prime Minister, it's my photo. As usual, may I excuse the rest of the people and I'll take a picture with the Prime Minister and the Minister. The Minister must remain. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Prime Minister. And the cultural troops will see off the Prime Minister, and you can start. We thank you.
Yeah, we have been. Well, we have been coming live from Fort Portal Tourism City, and this now gives us the last dot of this coverage. And of course, you have heard it from the horse's mouth. Whatever has been said here, government through the Prime Minister, they are committing themselves that indeed they are going to go a long journey in as far as ensuring that whatever the private sector members have highlighted here is put into action. And of course, I wanted to see whether we can move and get one or two colleagues here, but then we will just wrap up this broadcast in such a style. It has been the 6th biannual private sector CEO forum, which has been happening here in Fort Portal Tourism City. They have been here for 3 days deliberating on key issues affecting mainly the tourism sector. They have highlighted a few challenges and of course a few positivities where they think government has scored in as far as giving a facelift to the tourism industry of Uganda. But of course the panel of discussions here throughout the entire day have also highlighted a few challenges ranging from the poor and bad or negative mileage given to the country Uganda, mainly coming from the citizens of Uganda. They have emphasized that indeed government of Uganda loses a lot of money when it comes to the poor image globally, which they are calling on government to put in place measures and strict interventions to ensure that indeed those in charge of marketing and selling the image of Uganda or abroad must up the game so that indeed we, at the end of the day, our basket collects some coins in that line of attracting tourists. Many experts here have highlighted that indeed this is not a job only for Uganda, but East Africa as a region. We were once the powerhouse of tourism in Africa and almost in the world, but our own reputation is costing us as East Africa and as Africa. Bad politics and policies have been maintained here as key obstacles hindering the development of tourism, not only in Uganda and East Africa. But of course you have heard from the speakers here, including the Prime Minister, infrastructure is also among those key sectors where there is much call to improve, because without infrastructure, the tourists will not be coming in here in Uganda. Yes, government takes a credit in as far as upgrading and improving most infrastructure, but of course the question is, are they up to the demands of the current world, where we need people to move or travel within 1 or 2 minutes from one destination to another destination? Because you know, road transport, the challenges of the traffic also impacts the smooth and travel of tourists or investors in that line. So those are the take homes from what has been happening here, and I'm meant to understand the climax will be on Saturday when they will be hosting the CEO run here in Fort Portal City. Of course, as we hand back to the broadcast in Kampala, we are going to remind you that indeed tomorrow, the biggest day, the biggest occasion happening here in Fort Portal City is the Empango celebration. That is the 30th coronation anniversary of King Oyo IV, an event which we are also meant to understand will be presided over by the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda. To our viewers, it is a good evening and back to the broadcast house in Kampala at Nile Avenue. Bye-bye.
Honorable Fred Biamukama, Minister of